Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Force Feed for this Thursday, January 26th. Today we'll be talking about game betas and release dates, renting games through Netflix, THQ lays people off, and the Steam mobile app. The Gotham City Impostors beta is now live on the 360 and PS3. If you are interested in playing the beta on the PS3, you can just download it on PSN and get into it immediately. However, if you would like to try the game on the 360, you must actually head on over to the official site and register for the beta. I really don't know why you have to register on the 360 but can hop right in on the PS3. Maybe some sort of exclusive deal that they have worked out with PlayStation. Warner has also released a new trailer for the game, which you can see here. Otherwise, take a look at the video description below for a link. The Witcher 2 Assassins of Kings will be coming to the Xbox 360 this April. It looks like it will be hitting shelves on April 17th in North America. Now this is of course a port of the PC version that was released last year. However, this port in particular will be including 3 additional hours of brand new content. So even if you've already played The Witcher 2 on the PC, it might be worth checking it out on the 360. The launch window for Aliens Colonial Marines has been pushed back. The game was originally slated to launch sometime in the spring of 2012. Sega has announced that the game will be arriving, however, in the fall of 2012. We don't know if it's going to get pushed back yet again, but if you're looking forward to it this spring, you'll have to wait until the fall. Did you plan on renting games through Netflix, having them sent directly to your house, and never having to leave aside to gather food? Well, your plans have been destroyed, as Netflix no longer plans to offer renting games through the mail service. Netflix has stated that their previously announced plans to offer games via the mail service have been nixed, so they will no longer be planning on offering games at all. It is quite evident that the consumption of media is going more and more towards digital distribution as the years go on. I mean, take a look around you. I know particularly in my area, Blockbusters have been closing up all over the place. It's really hard to find physical stores to get videos or games anymore. I wonder if this move by Netflix is a result of that growing trend. I would have to say it probably has something to do with it. The fact that more and more people are just able to stream or download games online is pushing people away from getting the physical copies of the game. THQ announced today that more layoffs have taken place as a result of their shift in focus. And that shift in focus, of course, is what I reported on earlier, the fact that they're moving away from kids' games and towards their core gaming franchises. Now they plan to give more information and specifics about these layoffs in February, so if we're looking for exact numbers, we will have to wait till then. It is unfortunate that this is happening and people are losing jobs as a result. Although I can't say them no longer producing kid games actually affects me directly, the fact that people working in the gaming industry are going to be out of a job is certainly a sad thing. As I mentioned yesterday, I hope THQ can get back on track with their renewed focus and continue to grow. A Steam mobile app is now available on Android and iOS devices. Today, Steam launched the Steam application for both platforms. Steam Mobile, as it is called, allows you to chat, read gaming news, browse groups and profiles, as well as purchase games on the go. All we need now is for Steam to offer the ability to stream games and play them on your portable devices, and we'll have a competitor for OnLive. And lastly, of course, I will be wrapping up today's episode with a community question. If you would like your question answered, please send it into the Force Feed at forcestrategygaming.com. Today's question comes from Dylan, and I actually got a lot of questions like the one that he asked, so I figured this would be something good to touch on. What is your opinion on Microsoft allegedly forcing gamers to buy new games with their new Xbox? Obviously, supporting developers is important so they can keep pumping out great games, but isn't it our right as capitalists to find the best deal? Especially when the resale of games is so horrific and games tend to be either really awesome or completely terrible these days, doesn't the consumer need a used game market to protect themselves? Well, Dylan, first and foremost, it is of the utmost importance that we realize that this is a rumor. It may not be true, and even if it is true, it may not essentially happen. Maybe Microsoft has this plan, but after community feedback, they decide it won't happen. But let's, for argument's sake, say that it is true and that they are going to implement some way of preventing used games from being played on an Xbox console. I have to imagine that it would be tied to a live account, so it would kind of function the way that Steam currently does. You purchase something on a Steam account and you can only play it on that Steam account. I can't take my Steam account purchases and play it on a friend's Steam account. Sure, I can log into my Steam account from their place, but I would imagine that you can also log into your Xbox Live account from another Xbox. That may not be true, I really don't know, but I would have to imagine that if they do implement this, they would make it so that you could play on multiple Xboxes just by logging into your account, although that may not necessarily be true. Now, in terms of the used game market and whether or not they should be supporting developers, well, as you say, this move would be to help support developers and publishers and actually force the sale of new games. But sure, you have the right, and the option would be to get a PS4 rather. Let's say the PS4 comes out and it doesn't have this restriction. Well, if Xbox has that and it's something you're really against, then the option for you is just to not get that particular system. Obviously, that's sort of a pain, especially if you want the new Xbox, but if this ends up being implemented and it is really something you're against, the best thing you can do is not support it, and that means not purchasing it. And that's going to do it, guys, for this episode of the Force Feed. As always, I want to thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned tomorrow for this week's final episode of the Force Feed, keeping you up to date on all the most recent gaming news and announcements. Once again, this has been Force, and you've just been Force Fed.